Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the fans just haven't asked for it, they have demanded it.
This August, we're headed back to Tampa for WrestleHouse 2.
WrestleMania weekend, we brought you Sinister Minister James Mitchell, TJP, Demolition Smash, Al Snow, Dutch Mantel Zeb Coulter, JTG of Prime Time, and WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe for in-depth interviews and live interactive cyber autograph signings.
And if you want our Wednesday Night Wrestling Insider Special Edition episodes to continue, we need your help to bring these superstars' careers and lives to life.
Bringing you free content 7 days each week is an expensive proposition. Between appearance fees, air travel, renting the house, the equipment, and everything that goes in to a week of shooting, we can't do it without you.
As we prepare to return to producing live in-ring events, help us bring you the superstars and legends of yesterday and tomorrow by visiting Indiegogo now and check out some of the great rewards.
Wrestling fans, it's going to be a wild week in Tampa the first week in August. Get ready for WrestleHouse 2.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Yeah. Bruno was a true gentleman in all sense of the world. He didn't believe in drugs and alcohol, worked out all the time, hard-working guy, and very, very classic individual. One of the strongest, I would say, at that time, probably one of the strongest men in the world.
It's funny, I have some of those words written right here.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it, but Bruno Sammartino had a bench press of 565 pounds.
Wow.
And he didn't take steroids or supplements or nothing. He just ate and worked out, And he would give you the shirt off of his back. He was truly a friend to all. I mean, once you met Bruno, you just had this warm feeling about it. Great family man, raised his kid. You know, he was a true champion.
When did you first hear of Bruno Sammartino? I know you started wrestling down in the South when you broke in. Did you hear of the legend of Bruno Sammartino before you went to the WWF for the first time?
Oh, yeah, with top magazines. And see, they didn't have cable television back then. Everything was syndicated.
Syndicated.
So you could have a wrestler to wrestle. Because I wrestled with Bruno Sammartino in Texas.
Did you?
Nobody knew who he was.
You know, I think it was Bruce Pritchard did an interview not too long ago.
Nobody knew who Bruno was.
It was death silence.
Yeah, once you left the New England, they did, like Chief Jay Strongbow, nobody knows him once you leave New England. The same thing up here. If I say Wahoo McDaniels, nobody knows Wahoo McDaniels. Paul Jones was U.S. champion, and right. I mean, he was one of the biggest stars that walked the face of the earth. The only reason people know Dusty Rhodes is because he left and went to Vince.
For a little while, yeah.
Right. Everything was syndicated. TV, in my day, you could be wrestling in Boston Garden and play the bad guy. And then you could go down to Maryland or somewhere, I mean not Maryland, a little bit further, go to Virginia, to Richmond, and play the good guy.
They wouldn't have a clue what was going on in another part of the country. Yep.
The TV did not show you what went on. And then in 1971 or 72, a guy by the name of Ted Turner came along, and he created the first cable network in the 70s. And I remember some of the articles in the paper say he's crazy. What is wrong with him? Nobody in New York care about what's going on in Texas, and nobody in Texas care about what's going on in California. You know, they was used to seeing just, it was a local newspaper, the local news, and what went on in another country, you would have absolutely no clue of what went on in another country. Now you could do something in Boston, and not only will people all over the United States sees it, everybody all over the world sees it. not to get involved in politics or nothing, but I was in Nigeria, Africa, in 2004, and a guy from New Hampshire, Howard Dean, was running.
I remember how.
Was running for president, and I was over in Africa, watching it, in Africa, and what it was a dinner, for a peace dinner to keep the Muslims and Christians from fighting each other. So they wanted to have something to bring them together, entertainment. So they chose wrestling of all things. So every time Howard Dean spoke, he was just putting it through Bush, just calling him everything but a child of God. Every Muslim over there in Africa at that time stood up and cheered. And I asked them why they cheered for Dean. They said, he support us. See, here we got what's called gray areas. They don't. It's black or white. You either with them or you're against them. If the president is against them and you're against the president, you support them. Strange strategy, because they don't have all the gray areas. Like over here, if you do something, it's murder 1, murder 2, manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. We got about 10 different ways to explain murder in this country.
They have one.
Just one, you murder. Right. That's it.
All right, circling back to Bruno Sammartino, Tony, you heard about this great man through the magazines, through some of the other wrestlers that you worked with in different locker rooms. Your initial impressions of the man, did he live up to the expectations that had been set?
He's a true meaning of a world champion. I would say that him, Nick Bockwinkel, we have wrestling champions there. I mean, these guys were class act.
Yeah.
They could never be replaced. Never. I see the people now, they not in the same category as a Bruno Sammartino, as not even a Ric Flair. I mean, Ric Flair was the most class act in this world I've seen. Ric Flair would go into a bar and you laugh and joke with him, you go to pay your tab, a Flair took care of that. If he walked into a restaurant, Andre was like that too, Andre the Giant.
Really?
You go to a restaurant, Andre be sitting in the restaurant eating, and then he go up to the counter, and he would take care of everybody's tab in that restaurant.
Really?
If he's at that tab. Andre done that. One of the most underrated champion that this business has ever had is Harley Race.
Great man we've had right here in the studio.
Harley Race is highly respected by every wrestler. One of the reasons why, in real life, he could whoop just about anybody. I mean, if you say you whoop Harley Race, you did something, you see? But what they did in the 90s, they got rid of wrestlers. They didn't want wrestlers around anymore. You know, guys that could really wrestle, that could really, that was really into wrestling. And they got rid of it, and then they got a different group of guys with what you see now. They call themselves wrestler, but they don't wrestle. But they say, I'm a wrestler, but they don't wrestle. How can you wrestle? Let me say, I belong to a motorcycle club, but I don't have a bike.
We know someone like that here at the studio, but that's a different story for a different time.
It's a different, people like you said, people today looking for something different. Their attention span is a lot shorter now. So it's hard. We see things today, we forget about it tomorrow.
Right.
Every day we look for something different to see, something different to do. Where I used to sit and watch Anna Griffin every week. Lucy Ball, I watch it every week. I didn't need to see something different. Now, if you notice people, they're watching TV, commercial come on. We can't wait for that. We can't wait. Then we clip someone in China. Now, what was I watching? Now they forgot what the devil they were watching. That's us now. Something happened today. I don't care how dramatic it is. I don't care how bad it is. It only takes us 2 days to forget about it. And then we talking about something different.
Jeez,
and that's why wrestling had to constantly. See, we didn't have to change as much. Once you talk about Bruno Sammartino, 12 years. People was interested in watching Bruno.
Yep.
Today, 12 days, you got any more wrestlers back there? They would never, that's why I said they would never be another one. Like Hulk Hogan was the last of that era, where people want to see this particular guy for so many years straight.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.